All right, in 3, 2, 1.
Go! Get to the podcast!
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and
podcast.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
So I heard all you guys over there got podcast whip. Let me tell you something. You got to turn that shit around. You got to whip that podcast. You got to get it in there and whip that podcast.
That's pretty good.
Let's get to the podcast. You whip that podcast. Bang, 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 bang.
That's good.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to Get to the Podcast. Let's get to the podcast with the number 2. My name is Diego D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
Not motherfucking Pops.
Yeah, John Witherspoon passed away, man.
Yeah.
I love that dude,
He was
man.
great. I mean,
Yeah.
you were doing the impression of him from Friday, really. That
No,
was-
not Friday.
Yeah, that's how he does
That's
it in
not Friday.
What were you doing it?
I was doing from Boomerang when he's
Oh,
having dinner.
yeah,
Martin.
yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
Martin. So I heard that pussy whipped you.
Yeah, okay.
You
yeah,
gotta get that thing
yeah.
in there.
That's right, that's
whip
right.
that pussy.
Wait,
Don't
who
let
did he
that pussy
play? I
whip you.
think I remember this.
He played,
He was like somebody's dad.
Yeah, was it...
Because he came over for that big dinner, and then it was like Eddie Murphy
Yeah.
and Halle Berry were like friends, but like,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And he called Martin out.
Yeah, but what
yeah.
was his exact character in that? Yeah, but that's absolutely what it's
He was
from.
somebody's.
I rewatched Boomerang.
David Allen Greer's dad. Is that
That
right?
doesn't seem right.
No,
Maybe
he was
he's
no,
a
he was
friend, or like a, no, what,
he had
somebody's
something
dad.
to do with Eddie Murphy because he
Was it Eddie Murphy's dad?
I don't know if he was.
Wow,
or
that's
not,
just,
I don't remember.
we're shit. But yeah, I can't
Because I
remember. But
remember there was also that
awful.
scene where Eddie Murphy is talking to him. It's like, oh, I like that. Eddie Murphy's like, oh, I like that shirt. See, you gotta coordinate. You gotta coordinate your outfit. Because he's talking about, I like that cool mushroom shirt. Yeah,
why
that
was he
mushroom
over
shirt.
there? Oh, that's gonna drive me nuts. But speaking of Boomerang, I love that movie. I
Yeah.
rewatched it. So I saw that when that came out originally. So that came out in '92. I was 7. I think we talked about this at one point. It's the first time I heard about chicks with dicks because they had a whole conversation in there about that. But I rewatched that again recently, and I was like, "Oh, this is a good fucking movie." Like that. That is a. It's you know, you have romantic comedies. It's really a romantic comedy is what it is, but it's really hard to create something that's unique and original, and Boomerang did that.
Yeah.
You know, it felt very, especially, you know, at that time period, like there was no other romantic comedy that seemed like that movie that played out like that.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
There was a lot of firsts within that film because you really never saw such a huge black cast being in such a high business industry.
Right.
It was usually stereotyped.
Oh,
to,
yeah,
like,
and they were
Friday,
professional
and they were professional. They were high-end business executives.
Other than
you know.
Dr. Cosby.
Other than we all know how that shit fell through.
What? Oh, he was a doctor. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it was. And then there was no mention of anything. You know what I mean? That was the thing. It was just sort of like, it was just placed in that. And there was no mention of, oh, wow, look, this black person's making money in professional. You know what I mean? It wasn't like done like that. It was just sort of like, we're showing this now. Like, this is it.
It's normal.
Yeah.
So-
But that was, Eddie Murphy was kind of known for doing that kind of
Breaking
stuff.
ground,
Breaking
yeah.
ground and giving a lot of opportunities, opening the doors for other people. Arsenio Hall and everybody. Martin Lawrence.
I just watched his stand-up.
Chris Rock.
Arsenio Halls.
Oh, yeah, I didn't watch that yet. Was it good? It was okay.
It was pretty good. It was
Yeah.
pretty good. I think you can kind of everybody was.
Oh, they were doing that.
But I think he's got like some of his content was kind of dated because he was talking about New Edition. I was like, I don't think like,
New Edition?
half of the people in that crowd.
Candy
Well,
Girl?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
sometimes these older guys, like, they have to appeal to, like, you know, people that were around when they were young.
Yeah.
Like, they don't expect, like, all the tweens
That's a
to
large.
come out of the
It is.
woodwork.
That's a
and, like,
large
you know.
part of the population, though. You know what I mean? Like I would be happy seeing him make New Edition reference. I mean, I'm 33.
Yeah, kids
Oh, I was
aren't
happy with
getting
it.
excited over Eddie Murphy coming to Netflix. Like, no kid is like, oh my God, Eddie Murphy. Like, they don't even know who he is. They're like, whatever.
But he
This
talked
is the
about
problem with,
he used it in
corporal
the
punishment.
context
We
of
need it
like
to come back.
you know, when somebody come over, you got to pop in some New Edition and stuff. I'm like, yeah, today people don't pop in New Edition.
Yeah.
technically.
Oh, yeah.
But it was great to see him back, and he actually related everything he knows to the sensitivity level of today and
Right,
people.
right.
Yeah.
which I love that.
And he's going to be in Coming to America too, which
Yeah,
they're filming
exactly.
right now. There was like
Yeah.
there's a little behind, on set kind of photos showing up and stuff like that. And Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm hoping because Dolomite I thought was fucking fire.
That was great.
loved
I saw it.
I thought it was. You saw it?
I did.
Oh, good. Awesome. Do you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was beautiful.
Great. Like
was
it
really
really
good.
is. It's on Netflix now. You should check it out.
Yeah.
It's really, really. I was like, yeah, good fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like just entertaining and well done and a really interesting story. But anyway, so we were talking about John Witherspoon because he passed away.
Yeah.
Veteran comedian, been in a ton of things. But what I was referring to is he played the dad in Friday.
Yeah, he did.
And he did that similar thing with that thing
Every
with his
time
mouth.
I come in the kitchen.
No, that's where he's
Yeah.
sitting on the toilet.
Sitting on the toilet talking to him.
Oh,
He's just
no,
like,
remember that? Remember?
Craig, get it.
And he's like, oh, man.
No,
Like,
he goes,
you hear like the bloop?
he goes, I wait till you get out. What? I've been smelling your shit for 22 years. Get your ass here. You can't smell my shit for 5
You
minutes.
need to get out and get yourself a job today, son. Get the hell out of here.
But what was great about him in that movie, so that's really funny, and I love Friday. That's a movie I can watch over and over. Again, I saw that in theaters, 95. So I was 9 years old when that movie came out. I saw that in theaters. I remember the theater I saw it in, and I just went, this is, like I fucking loved it then.
Yeah.
And Chris Tucker was the best he's ever been. You know, I think next to the Rush Hour movie
just flashing
in that movie.
Do it
as-
right now. Okay. Hey, Mr. Charles, can I use your bathroom? Number 1 and number 2. Number 2. You ain't gonna be dropping no dookie in here.
So, but what was great about him in that movie? So he's funny. He's got all those kind of iconic scenes
Yeah.
in that movie. But there's that heartfelt scene at the end where
Yeah.
he catches Craig with the gun, and he's
Yeah.
like, "That doesn't make you a man." You know what I mean? These make you a
These
man. He
make
puts
you a
up his
man,
fist,
yeah.
but like he plays it so earnestly and like. Yes, the whole movie he was kind of comic relief, and
win
then they
some,
just
you lose some.
flipped. Yeah, he flipped it.
But that's
and
what
it's just-
that's what makes that movie, I think, so iconic is really that scene at the end where
Yeah.
it's like all this silliness. I mean, like,
Yeah.
ridiculousness and that
That
throughout
line,
the whole
he goes-
movie. But then that moment at the end where it's like things got real serious.
Yeah.
Because you
You
win
know.
some, you lose some, but you lived.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was
and,
awesome.
Oh man,
yeah.
it's so great. And then he even has a flashback to the scene when he pulls out the gun on Debo, and then he
Yeah.
flashes back to that, and his father's there, and he's like, "Let him handle it himself." You know, like,
Yeah.
that movie's great, and he's a really important part of it.
Yeah.
I don't remember enough of the sequels. Like I saw them next Friday. I've seen it a couple times, but I don't remember enough about him. But he's in those as well.
He's in the second one. I don't think he's in. I'm pretty sure he's in Friday After Next,
Yeah.
but not on anything after that.
Okay, well,
I
because
think
those are the
there was
only
a whole
three.
new cast after that.
Well, no, there's only those three, and then they're working on developing Last Friday is what they were going to call it.
Yeah.
And that's not, obviously hasn't happened yet, and he's not. And I think they were trying to get Chris Tucker to come back because he wasn't
Yeah.
in any of the sequels, and I'm pretty sure they wanted John Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Does Chris Tucker have a Netflix special out now? Or is he have
did,
a new
yeah, he
one
did.
coming
He did
out?
one like a
Or
year.
did-
Oh yeah, he did like a year or so
Yeah.
ago.
Oh, a year ago,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, how did I miss that? I feel like I don't remember
I
that.
thought you saw it. I thought you watched it.
No,
We
I-
talked
You might have
about
been on Hulu.
Is it on Hulu?
I was just trying to speculate.
No,
Oh.
it's not. It's a Netflix. It's on Netflix.
It is on
Sure.
Netflix. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I must have missed
Yeah.
it. I don't
Well, he went through
remember
that. There was that whole big thing where he was like being religious and he didn't do a lot of stuff.
What terrible religious.
Was that what it was? Was it because I
Yeah.
thought he ran into like a tax situation like Wesley Snipes or something. I feel like I read something like that where the IRS was like fucking with him and
I don't know.
so his like manager like fucked up and like didn't pay the IRS and then that like
I didn't read that.
created some weird-
I would be speculating at this point,
Yeah.
but I thought it was more of he's just trying to step back from everything.
Yeah.
You know, and he was saying
Yeah.
no to a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he wasn't saying yes to things. 'Cause
It might have been-
almost a Chappelle kind of a thing, like
Yeah.
where Chappelle walked away. You know,
Well, Rush Hour is great. I mean, there's 3 Rush Hours. I wish they would do a 4th. Rush Hour.
There's
Did they do a 4th
conversations.
Rush Hour?
There's conversations on it.
Yeah.
They didn't do a 4th one, right?
No, they didn't do a
There's
fourth one, no.
conversations to do a fourth one.
That would
Yeah.
be great. I mean, Jackie Chan's like old
I don't
dude.
know.
Chris Tucker's old, but like
One more ride,
Like,
man.
they need their Lethal,
Lethal
Weapon
Weapon
4.
4,
That's
yeah.
what they need. Yeah,
Yep.
because all 3 of those are solid
me.
films. Like
No,
I could
you.
watch
You.
any one
No,
of them.
Yeah,
me.
I love those Rush Hour movies. It's so funny because that first one, you're sort of like, oh, this is just a funny premise. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But it works, and it's those two together. Like they just
You
got
got to give it to Jackie
I ain't
Chan.
no
or
punk
Jackie
bitch,
Chan's
man.
like the Shanghai Night,
Yeah.
Shanghai Noon, and then what
Around
was
the World
other
in
one?
80 Days, and
Yeah, he did all these like buddy movies.
Yeah.
And then Rush Hour, and then what was the
Yeah.
other one? I feel like there was another one with another buddy series with him.
Friday?
No, Jackie Chan.
Jackie
Jackie Chan?
Yeah.
No, he did Rumble in
Yeah.
the Bronx. He did
Super Cop, he
Operation.
did.
You might be talking. He did Operations.
Operation Dropout or something. Yeah. I don't know if he did another, buddy.
Oh no, he did. He did the one with
Johnny Knoxville?
Johnny Knoxville. Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, they did one.
Yeah, they did one.
Yeah, and he did the Karate Kid reboot, which was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
With,
It was good, actually.
Will
I
Smith
finally
stuff,
watched that. Yeah.
I just
I
watched
thought it
the
was
first
good.
Karate Kid the other morning. I woke
Yeah.
up 7:00. I saw Karate Kid #1.
Yeah.
It
My
was
ne-
just starting.
We
When
are
he
all
come-
over the place.
We
by
are.
the
I know
way.
we
So,
are, man.
My nephew came up to me, I shit you not, like 2 days ago and was like, I just watched the original Karate Kid. I was like, who was in it? He's like, this little black kid and this Asian guy and Jackie Chan. And I was like, that is not the original.
The original.
And he's like, what's the original? He's like, who's in that? And I'm like, you're not going to know who any of these
Ralph
fucking people
Macchio
are.
and Pat Morita and Elizabeth Shue?
Yeah.
Nah, he didn't know. He was.
Well, you
but
could
I was
tell
like,
him it's the
I'll
girl
have to
from
show you
The Boys.
original.
If he's watched The Boys on Amazon.
No,
Elizabeth Shue's in
He's
that.
10 years old.
Yeah.
He's not going to watch The Boys on
And
Amazon.
when I was 10 years old,
Dude, we live in a different era,
Yeah,
man.
Nick, yeah.
Kids don't go to triple
Yeah.
X movie theaters anymore at the age of 9 in Times Square.
He said, "I'm 10. I was 10. I would
In-
watch that shit."
in the theaters in Times Square.
Yeah.
My baby is watching Boys. Why ain't your 10-year-old watching Boys?
That was a good show, actually.
You could just put like some stilts on. I could just see Nick now putting on like a trench
Big
coat
trench
and like a
coat.
big hat, and he's
Yeah.
like, sitting on his brother's back, like, and there's like a one person with 2 people.
One ticket for one adult, please.
Yeah, we want to see this. I don't know. What's a
My name
popular
is
porno
Mr.
movie?
Jones.
Debbie Does Dallas.
Debbie Does Dallas.
Deep
yeah.
Throat.
Because he was
Deep
so
Throat,
into
yeah.
fucking movies, he would try to like talk to people with movie lines as an adult.
Yeah.
Just throwing out the movie lines.
So John Witherspoon, though, fucking tangent.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
So John Witherspoon, but let's talk about it. I mean, he was great. I have a collection of the Richard Pryor show
Yeah.
on DVD. Richard Pryor had a sketch.
Yeah, he only
show.
did like the one season. Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Did you
and
see the Star Wars one?
Yeah,
Apparently,
yeah.
George
it, like,
Lucas
starts
This
the
is how
first
we go
episode.
into
take
tangents.
everything.
He gives
and
everything.
they-
It was in the
This is how we go
cantina.
into tangents right here.
Yeah.
No, this is
No,
John
no,
Witherspoon
John
related.
Witherspoon was
John
in it.
Witherspoon
He was in the
related.
Star Wars one?
He was in the Richard Pryor show.
Yeah,
and so
but not in the Star Wars one.
he wasn't in the no, but I'm just talking about Richard
might
Pryor
have
show.
been.
I was trying to give a little premise for the show because I don't know that everybody knows that Richard Pryor
No,
had.
but what I was saying is that the keyword Star Wars takes us down into a
Oh,
tangent.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
that is
that's-
true. So, but that Star Wars sketch is very much like feels just like Star Wars.
Yeah.
They have the whole cantina scene and everything, and it looks like he literally went on the set of Star Wars and
Oh,
filmed
yeah.
the sketch. And he
Yeah.
plays the bartender. Richard Pryor does.
It's super surreal to watch because you're like,
Yeah.
this is literally every prop from the original movie,
Right.
Like in this stupid skit or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I forget what the skit was, but
He's
it
a
was,
bartender, and he's just kind of like
Eisley's like
Yeah.
Cantina. Yeah,
yeah. And anyway, so the show was fine. And Robin Williams showed up in this
Yeah.
variety show or the sketch show, but John Witherspoon was a regular. And I remember I have it on DVD, and I remember watching it, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's fucking John Witherspoon!" Because
Yeah.
he's young. I mean, this is late 70s.
It's worth watching if people haven't seen it because he doesn't he do like a Black President one?
Yeah,
that was
yeah, he
funny.
does,
And it was
yeah.
like they had the translator or something, or he was like talking to people and like jive or something. They had to like communicate to the press,
something
like
like
Yeah.
that.
Oh
saying.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
like jive president.
It
or
was
something.
kind
slanging.
of, it was probably
Yeah.
more than anything the
was funny.
precursor to the Chappelle Show.
Oh yeah,
You know, it
like a
felt-
lot of the stuff in that is like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt more like even more so than In Living Color because while In Living Color is more of an ensemble show like Saturday Night Live, Richard Pryor show is about Richard Pryor, and then he had these other players along, but it was really centered around him,
Yeah.
like the Chappelle Show did.
Yeah.
And hit on certain themes and stuff like that. But John Witherspoon was great in that. Like he showed up in a shitload of sketches, was a regular there. But another one we wanted to talk about, which you like, and you actually turned me on to. I finally started watching this. I fucking
Oh, it's
love
like the
this
best show ever.
It's actually an amazing show, and they're rebooting it right now. And he was supposed to be in it.
Yeah.
I
I mean, he's the main. He's in every episode.
Yeah, the Boondocks.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is
Boondocks.
he played
Oh,
the
Boondock. Yeah, it's an
granddad
animated
or whatever.
show.
Yeah.
That I guess like got shuffled around on different
Comedy
networks.
Central, I
and-
think.
Yeah, and then it was on like a Cartoon Network, or like late night cartoon, or Adult
That could have
Swim
been
or
just
something.
it could have
I
been
don't know.
it could have been syndicated on those.
Yeah. It's funny too because the guy that created the show got so much flack for like how like
Politically
non-sensitive
incorrect.
and politically
Yeah.
incorrect the show is. But the show is a satire. Like if you watch that show, you have like one character in the whole show that's like the sane character,
Yeah.
and it's the older brother. It was
Is he
voiced
older?
by
I guess he is
Regina
older.
King. I think Regina
Yeah,
King
yeah.
voices both
He
of
is
them.
the older
Yeah, an
brother,
adult
yeah.
woman does both. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah.
And yeah, and but everybody else is like just a total
Yeah.
can be a total stereotype.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just like they bring up all these topics, in society, and they just
It's fantastic.
It's in your face.
Yeah, when you,
but it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd always seen, and I'd seen clips of it, like or like it would be on TV. I'd watch it for a few minutes or whatever. But when you started really like hyping it up, I was like, I'm gonna check out the show.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's fucking awesome. Like
Yeah.
it's really, and he's great. Like John Witherspoon. Let's just keep it on that topic for a second. Like as granddad or whatever.
Yeah.
He's great in it. Like
I think
that
he has
character's
that-
interesting, but he's also just kind of brings that energy that
Yeah.
he's brought to every role to this granddad.
He has that
Funny.
iconic character that other people can't portray.
Yeah.
Kind of like it's like Will Smith. Nobody really
He's
is
a one
Will
of
Smith,
one of a kind.
because Will Smith acts like himself in a lot of the roles he takes.
Right.
And that's the thing with him. Also, he does himself. He's always this character that people can't copy and can't do, and so it became this like classic character, and it's not even a black thing or anything like that. It's just this classic character that you remember. This is why like I can remember all these scenes from Friday. I haven't seen Friday for like over 5 or 6 years, and I haven't seen a lot of his stuff in such a long time, but I can remember because it was such an iconic character, and I've never seen anything else like him ever in another film, and it's awesome to remember him that way.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah,
What-
apparently he was in Meteor Man.
Oh, was he in
Meteor
that?
Man
I
2,
mean,
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Meteor
And
Man
he was in-
2, you just said?
He was in Meteor Man and
okay.
Bulworth. Like there were all these
Okay.
movies that he had
Yeah,
like
just
parts
he's a
in, you know?
character actor.
Yeah.
So
He's
he
in
just
Martin.
show up.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was in,
I
he was in
believe
a couple
that. I
episodes of
believe that.
Martin. And,
Yeah, he was in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I
He was
believe
the
that.
dad
Yeah.
for that girlfriend.
Yeah.
Remember they got stuck in the parachute?
Not Nia. Oh yeah, the parachute.
The
That's right.
parachute.
Well, Will Smith shared that on Instagram, the picture of that, and he said,
Remember
"Rest in
this?
peace,
Oh,
pops" or whatever. Yeah, from,
That's
He was
cool.
like, Will,
that's right.
grab
Was he-
that
was
tree
he-
right there
was he
so we
Nia
can get some momentum. He was like, what'd you just say? Momentum.
I
Did he
actually want
play
to see
Nia
some
Long's
interviews
dad?
with him.
Did he play Nia Long's dad in that show?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
She
yeah.
played the main girlfriend.
I don't think I've ever seen him be interviewed like outside of a movie. Like I think all the things
just
I've
see
seen
him
of him
in
is
those
be
characters.
be
Yeah.
different characters. I'm curious to see how he was like just day to day.
like was he like
off
that?
camera?
Yeah, which I'm sure he wasn't. That's really a very characterish thing to
Yeah.
do. I'm sure he was a little
Well,
more
like
toned down.
God, what's his name? Harvey Danger?
Steve Harvey.
No, Dangerfield.
Oh, Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah. Very
Apparently that
different.
guy was like completely like just a
More of
totally
an
normal guy,
more of
like,
an
off-
introvert and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
off camera, but like when he would go into his persona that he had created for
Yeah.
stand up, and he didn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
such a weird thing.
He's
to
a
get into
guy that
comedy,
literally
like, that old.
20 to 30 or like 20 years before he ever broke, like Rodney Dangerfield got really big, which was like late 70s, early 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
He literally he didn't go by Rodney Dangerfield. That wasn't his name. That's a stage name. And he sold jokes out of like the back of his trunk with another guy or whatever. And he was known for these great fucking jokes that he was sold, and that was kind of his career. And then he
Yeah.
went away for like decades, and then came back with this character.
Oh
and
my
just
gosh.
broke.
So he's in I gotta find
Totally
this. He's in one episode.
Yeah, completely
sorry.
unrelated. Sorry.
He's on BoJack Horseman.
Oh, really? That's
He
a good
does-
show. That is a good cartoon. Have you watched that?
No,
That's
I haven't watched it.
It's
yeah.
fucking solid. Really good storytelling, but funny at the same time. And like BoJack's not it's Boondock, totally different Boondocks, but like that level of quality in terms of like Jesus, this shouldn't work. Like this,
Yeah.
this doesn't. But it clicks onto something, and it's really good writing.
I think I watched a little bit of it, but not enough for it to
Yeah.
like stick.
because it's not episodic. It's not like Family Guy where it's like every episode stands alone.
Yeah.
BoJack is more of a connected, serialized show.
Yeah.
He has 84 acting parts within his IMDb.
Okay, but yeah, John. So you mentioned Bulworth. What was the other one you mentioned that he was in?
Meteor Man.
Meteor Man.
Meteor
So
Man,
that
yeah.
we talked about.
I love
this
that
movie.
movie.
I love that
I
movie.
grew up on that
Grew up
movie.
on it. I grew up on
Yeah.
it. Watched it 100 times. Big Daddy Kane's in that movie, dude.
Yeah.
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 1993.
Yeah, Naughty by Nature's in it, and
Robert
Don
Townsend, who
Cheadle.
I haven't seen in anything.
I know.
Like,
Robert
he just
Oh my gosh.
Townsend. Bill Cosby is in that. James Earl Jones is in that.
Like everybody.
Isn't Robert Guillaume? Robert Guillaume's in that. I think like every.
Yeah, Robert Guillaume, Eddie Griffin, James L. Jones.
I don't remember Ozzie Davis. And,
Don Cheadle.
Yeah, Don Cheadle.
Young Don Cheadle.
Yeah, I don't remember if Ozzie Davis and Ruby D whatever.
Sinbad was in it.
Are they in? Oh, Sinbad's in
Yeah.
it. That's right.
He was
Luther Vandross.
Yeah, they had like everybody.
Yeah.
yeah. He was in Vampire in Brooklyn. Silas
he?
Green. He
Okay.
Was that the bum?
No, well, there's Kadeem Hardison, which is the one who ended up being his like kind of assistant.
Yeah.
or
No. The
right-hand
one.
man.
The one that always hung out outside of the church.
Oh, maybe. I haven't seen Vampire in Brooklyn since the 90s.
He was in Ride. I got the hookup.
No, you're just reading titles.
I am.
Don't mention him unless you recognize him. Otherwise, we're just saying.
Ladies Man.
Ladies Man. It's the one with Tim Meadows from SNL.
Yeah, I'm the
Oh,
man.
right. What am I thinking of? Undercover.
Ladies-
Yeah, that's
That's what I was
disgusting.
thinking of, yeah.
Disgusting.
Remember
That
that
one.
though, Ladies Man?
Yeah, and he was in
They
next
call
Friday.
up with some.
He was in Next Friday.
He was in Next Friday. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that does seem right. Was he in Friday After Next?
I don't see that. He was in Little Nicky after that.
Little Nicky.
He was in, after that.
Adam
He was in.
Sandler.
Yeah, he was in Friday After
Okay,
Next.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. I'm like, why wouldn't he be? I mean, the idea of those movies is that Craig goes and lives with his cousin in the second movie. So
Oh yeah, he was the blind man in Soul Plane.
okay,
You remember that?
I remember that with Snoop, and it was Cedric the Entertainer's in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he really, like you said, he had a very unique voice and carved out, and he's just sort of like you always delighted in seeing him in anything he was in. He had an iconic voice, an iconic look and energy, and he was doing it for so long. He became one of those staple actors like where you just always expected him to be around. You know, when he died, you're like, oh shit.
There's a lot of
certain
of
people-
actors like that and
Yeah.
actresses where it's like you've seen them for, they've been in the business for like 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
And they're always like, and then there's always like that one or two or three or four iconic role that like it really stood out where
Yeah.
everybody remembers.
But it's
them
usually
because
more
of
than
that.
one, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like a few.
Yeah.
And so
but then they're like
which
in
is amazing.
everything else.
Yes.
You're like you always see them. They always play like the mom or this or the daughter or whatever,
And it could be a B movie or whatever, but like they always bring the same kind of talents or whatever to it, and it
Yeah.
and
like that. There's that. I don't even know his name. This is gonna sound horrible, but the Asian dude who's in like Die Hard and Lethal Weapon and
Oh,
like every
yeah.
action movie ever. He always plays like the evil Asian dude
Yeah.
with the machine gun or
Yeah,
whatever.
he was in a Rapid
the hair.
Fire with Brandon Lee with the hair and the little
Yeah, I know what you're
soul
talking about.
patch, and he's bald on top, kind of.
yeah. I think
And
he was in. He
was
played
in,
Genghis
Big Trouble.
Khan and
in Bill and
Ted.
Ted.
The big
Bill and
guy?
Ted. No, he's small actually. He
Yeah.
played Genghis Khan, whatever. In Bill and Ted, he played. He was in Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee. He was in Die Hard. He
It's
was
like
in,
he's the only guy in Hollywood.
He was in Big Trouble in Little
who
China.
could fill this role.
Oh, I know
He was
what
in
you're
Big
talking
Trouble in
about.
Little
I know
China.
who you're
He was
talking
one of the
about.
gang members.
Yeah.
Like
We need to find out who it is.
The guy with the long hair.
Yeah, so I've read a lot about this guy. I always forget his name, but totally Americanized, by the way.
Yeah.
But
I
he,
believe it, yeah.
he fucking overcame brain cancer like 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, like he had straight up brain cancer. And
Oh,
the guy's
wow,
in his
that's
like
good.
mid 70s now or something like that. Like he's an older dude.
But he's in like everything.
Yeah.
Al Leong.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, literally
He's in-
everything.
He's in everything.
I think he's a stunt
He's in,
guy.
like,
I think
every
he's I
movie.
think he's a stunt guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty
so
sure.
Stunt guy turned like
Yes,
he had like a
they
handful
do that.
Of
Some people
like,
do, especially in the 80s. That was a big thing. You know what I mean? Like you'd see him in everything, but they were also stuntmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's everything.
This is like totally
Everything.
unrelated
80s
to even
and
bring
90s.
this up, but I
It's
just,
totally unrelated. This is what you do.
Motherfuckers, I thought this podcast was about me.
Yeah. But he's in everything.
Yeah, but John Witherspoon though.
John Witherspoon,
But anyways,
yeah.
you're relating it to that kind of a
Correct.
character or kind of an actor who just you just go, yeah, I
Yeah.
know him in so many things,
Yeah.
and they're always around, and then all of a sudden they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like 77?
77, yeah.
77, yeah.
Yeah, his son released a social media post, like pictures of them together or whatever, and just like he
Yeah.
was his best friend, and they always like, ragged on each other. You know what I mean? Had that kind
Yeah.
of like, I don't know, what do you call it? Snapping on each other, constantly, and but it just seemed like he was a cool dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's only good things coming out about like how kind of a kind and great guy he was, and we obviously know
Yeah.
he was wicked talented.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every time I hear somebody smacking their lips now, I'm going to think of him.
John Witherspoon.
I like hog maw. I like chitlins.
Friday, remember?
What's the thing in Friday where he does because he's a postman, right? And he fucking hates
Yeah.
dogs. What was the thing he's talking about? God, it take dog. Choke a dog.
Remember
That was probably my favorite part of like comedically in that movie with him.
Yeah.
I remember every time.
He was a dog. No, he wasn't. He wasn't a postman. He was a dog catcher.
Was he a dog
Yeah, he was
catcher?
a dog catcher, wasn't he? He wasn't a postman. He was a dog catcher.
I thought he was a postman.
I'm pretty sure he's a dog catcher. Look it up. Just Google dog catcher, whatever. I think it was dog. I think he was a dog catcher.
He might be. Remember when he goes, every time I come in the kitchen, your ass is in the kitchen.
Eating up all.
Eating up all goddamn food.
Drinking all my milk. Wasn't there like
my
no milk
chicken,
left?
my pig feet,
Yeah, that's
My
right.
motherfucking dinner.
That's where he says it. He's like,
I like pig feet. I like hog maw.
I like pig feet. God damn it. Shit's
I
good.
didn't even know what that was when I watched that movie. I was like, fucking pig feet. Like, is this a real thing?
Yeah, man.
I like chitlins.
That's the basis of soul food, man.
It's pig feet. It's good.
Because you know why? Because they
Good for you,
used to
too.
always get the worst ingredient. Like the worst of the animals was given to them, given to black people. So they
Yeah.
would just take it and whip it into something fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I've never had pig feet, but it's apparently a pretty
I've had it.
standard dish in soul food. I mean, yeah, it's pig feet. Pig feet's pig feet. I don't know how you.
Well,
make it good,
it's
but-
used. A lot of foreign Latin countries use it like when they make beans, like a bean stew. They use it in there. They use pig's head.
Yeah.
They
Use everything.
Yeah. It's not like America where, oh my gosh, I can't use that meat because I don't know where it comes from.
Yeah.
Can't eat that shit.
We'll eat some magic meat, some impossible meat that's
That part of-
chemically engineered and say it's.
I will
healthy.
eat that.
Plants.
Yes, I
Didn't you-
cannot eat.
I
any,
just read it. I read
any
a
meat
thing
that's
about
closer
that.
to the ass.
Did you see that article about how when the Impossible company was like testing it, apparently it gave all these rats like tumors and shit, and they were like, "Well, there's no correlation between that and humans, so it's just probably
Why do
totally
you keep
safe."
testing shit on rats then? Like
I don't know. I don't know.
What is this whole like rats and humans, except for when we don't
We're
want
identical,
it to be?
like 99% identical,
Yeah.
as that 1% that makes a rat and
Yeah.
1% that makes a human.
So John Witherspoon, yeah, he played a dog catcher in Friday.
Dog
That's what he
catcher?
did.
Okay,
Because even
yeah.
Craig was like, I ain't trying to be no dog catcher. Like he doesn't want to go into
doesn't
the
want
family business
family
or whatever.
business. What's wrong with the family business?
Yeah. Anyways,
Work hard, son. Work hard.
so
Get
rest-
out. Oh, that's how that scene started. Get out. The dog. and just, I want to kill it.
John Witherspoon.
I'm gonna have to watch that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Friday, I could watch that constant. Like that movie's just so good, and it could. I like the sequels. I remember going the route that you would think the first one would have gone to, but like the first one just works. You had what's his face? F. Gary Gray directed it. He did Straight Outta Compton later and everything. Great director. You
Yeah.
had Ice Cube wrote it. Chris Tucker. This is where he first like.
It's funny,
exploded.
in Straight Outta Compton, he's like talking about writing this
Yeah.
movie. He's like,
It shows him writing it.
this hilarious.
It shows
movie.
him.
Well,
He
son,
goes,
son.
He
who
goes,
played
got
him.
knocked the fuck out. Yeah, he types that and then sits
Yeah.
back. He's at his computer in his home. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is funny.
Yeah.
He's-
Anyways.
And he was supposed to. I hope this motivates him to do the fourth one.
Oh, and sort of like tribute to him.
A
in
tribute to
there?
him.
Yeah, yeah.
type
That'd
of
be
deal.
great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Kinda
Because
reminds
I
me
mean,
of
they
House
showed
Party.
that they were going to do it, and he was in the cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it
So-
kind of reminds me of House Party when Robin Harris died, who was the dad. He played Kid's dad in the first movie. And he's actually watching Dolomite. And
Yeah.
he's trying to get his son to watch Dolomite with him. He's like, Dad, I got to go to the so he sneaks out. But Robin
He's
Harris
actually
was
in
a
this.
stand.
He's in House Party.
Who is?
John
Witherspoon, right? That's
Yeah,
right.
he
Yeah,
is,
and another movie he was in with Martin Lawrence. But Robin Harris, who was a stand-up, remember Bebe's Kids?
Yes.
Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
yeah. That's,
We don't
that's
die,
Robin
we
Harris.
multiply.
That's Robin Harris. Yeah. So he played the dad in that, but he died like right after House Party came out. So when they did the second one, a year later, he was dead, and they kind of did a tribute to him, and they had a character die in between the films, so he had a picture of him and everything.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
And it
wow.
Kind of
Like a
informed
Sean Connery, Harrison.
yeah,
Indiana Jones.
kind of.
thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
He didn't
him
really die.
and
He
Martin,
just,
right? And it was like is that his name, Martin or
Martin.
Denholm Elliott?
Oh God!
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's his
what
fucking
is
name?
his
What's
name? The guy from
Trading Places.
Indiana Jones'
and-
buddy.
Yeah, Denholm Elliott is his name in real life.
I don't remember.
Is it not Martin?
Fuck. No, it's not Martin. It's
Oh, fuck! I was right there.
I know. Brody.
No,
Hi,
Yeah,
welcome
yeah,
to
it's
Think
like
About It with the
Brody.
podcast.
is it Brody? Oh,
All right, let's move forward and keep
No,
going.
no,
We'll
no,
come back to it.
Don't look it up. We have to use our minds.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
It's gonna come
overrated.
back to us. Do you
Well,
know
you-
what we're talking about though? The guy who was in America.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but
He works in the university with him.
blend in, disappear. You'll never see him again.
I know
And
what you're
he's like,
talking about, but I cannot remember.
He's
Like,
like, where am
I don't have a clue to lead me to the result.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know you. I know who you're talking about.
It is bro. Oh, he's something. It's not Brody though. It's bro something though. It's
So it's something like that. dude.
Braun.
This
what-
is
He's now
awful.
meditating.
This is awful.
It's-
No, it's You didn't
Yeah.
bring poor blah 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 into this, did you? And he's like,
I'm just gonna sit here.
disappear.
Eat some shit.
that was Last Crusade.
Well,
though.
you-
All right.
I
What
know,
about
I know. That's why. But that
think
like
about the
scene, I
goddamn
always
name.
think of
Brodus? No. No. It's
Brodus.
Brody.
It's something like that.
But
I'm
it's
telling
not.
you.
But
It's
I don't know.
Bronson.
Brody doesn't feel right.
Back to
It
the
could be Brody, but I don't
podcast,
think it is.
maybe.
Hold on, no, we gotta get this.
Back to the name. No,
John Witherspoon would have wanted us to do this. Hold on.
he would
Yeah,
have.
he would have wanted us to remember.
Marcus.
Marcus.
See, it's
Marcus
not
Brody.
Marcus Brody. That's why.
Yeah, his
That's
last
where the
name
Brody
was
was coming
Brody.
from, but they
Yeah,
called him
Marcus.
Marcus. That's
Yeah.
why. What did I say? Martin, right? So I was like,
Martin. Yeah,
something like that. But then
You
I
mixed
said
the
Brodus.
two.
I took Brody and Marcus and did Brodus.
Bartholomew.
It's weird how the mind works.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Put it
what,
together,
what
put it
about
together.
him?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the scene in Last Crusade where they do like a little homage to them.
That's right.
having-
No,
'cause
no, it
he
wasn't Last
actually
Crusade.
died.
No,
but
it was-
Harrison or
It was
Sean Connery.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yes.
And they showed the pictures of them because they were both in Last
Oh,
Crusade.
right. What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Crystal Skull.
And the homage was to them. Yeah, because Denholm Elliott had really died.
yeah. And then Sean Connery retired.
Sean Connery,
His
wouldn't
last
come out of
movie
retirement.
was
League of Extraordinary
League of
Gentlemen.
Extraordinary Gentlemen, which
Yes.
is such a it's such
You
a
like that
crazy.
movie,
I
yeah.
actually really like that movie.
I'm not a huge fan of that movie.
But it's like you watch it like he ended his last movie on this like crazy action movie. Old ass geezer.
Yeah.
This dude's like in his 80s, like just fucking doing punches and shit. Like,
Yeah.
and then that was his last movie ever.
But yeah, so they did a tribute to them in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull where you saw a picture.
yeah, they should
of-
do that
of,
if they do this Friday. Yeah, the
Yeah,
next
I mean,
one.
so they'll do that kind of a thing. Yeah.
That's my
That'd be
point.
great. I mean, to see.
I hope his
that was a
death.
lot.
This is what I hope.
That was a lot
That's
to
how
get
I
to a
roll,
point,
man.
I hope-
That's how I roll.
I hope
non sequitur.
Y'all was just like that fucking movie
I
that
hope
didn't
it-
have that great of a payoff at the end,
Yeah.
but it
Oh,
was
there
such
was no
high
payoff.
stakes.
No, it was overhyped.
He
No,
stole $32 billion.
I hope. I
in the
hope,
movie, we lost $32 billion.
I hope in Last Friday, if they incorporate it into it, it's not something like that because it's been done. It's played out a little bit, like the picture. I hope his death almost spurs the plot of the movie, the story.
Well, that's
I want
what
the
I'm
story
thinking.
to be connected with him dying. Maybe
I don't know if
Maybe
they're
he's
gonna do
moved
that.
away and he comes back for the funeral. So I just want it to be connected.
Oh,
That's what I'm
Give
saying.
it better importance than he's just dead and we got a picture. You know what I mean? Give it a sort of like the weight because he would have been a
Ice
big
Cube-
part of that movie as a supporting character and now he won't be. But if you kind of make the plot kind of revolve around maybe he died or something.
That's a great opening.
Yeah. Something
Great
like that.
opening and
And
inspires
maybe that's what brings
Ice Cube.
Smokey back because they wanted to bring Chris Tucker back for the last one, so
Yeah.
maybe they bring him back in.
Is he like now okay with doing stuff like that?
He I don't know about this religious thing you guys are talking about. I don't think that's really was the
Yeah,
factor
no,
for
there-
not
there-
doing
there
these
was a
things.
couple-
But I don't think that
What's
was a
the
factor in not
door-to-door
doing these
thing?
things. Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
I
that
don't
what
know.
I don't know what it was,
he
but
might
I know
be.
he did.
I'm pretty
take-
sure.
But I don't think it's. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't remember why he didn't do the.
Or
sequels,
maybe that's
but-
just what the media was saying.
But they were
because
trying to
he,
get Chris Tucker
stopped.
back, and he didn't say absolutely not. I know that much. So they were looking.
But this would be a great like beginning to bring Ice Cube back to being something better, being something bigger because of his dad. Because his
Yeah,
dad
maybe
inspired him and bring Smokey back and
Yeah,
bring a
maybe
lot of
he's
the
like a
cast back.
superstar real estate agent or Hollywood producer, and he's like, really, I should be a dog catcher because my dad died, and he comes back and becomes a dog catcher.
no.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right here.
What the fuck?
It says
I was like, where are you going? with this?
Downgrade.
This is what it
Yeah.
says. This is what it says on Wikipedia. It says he Tucker did not reprise his role as Smokey in Next Friday or in Friday After Next because he had become a born again Christian after filming
Born
Money
Again.
Talks in 1997.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
that's yeah.
That's what it says.
Well, God bless him.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I remember hearing.
Got it. Okay, well, yeah, I'm
it wasn't
wrong.
a Jehovah's Witness. Yeah,
Okay,
born again
got it.
Christian,
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I mean, think about
He's
him.
like doing PCP and like smoking weed and like
yeah, but
I
he
don't
would.
know.
It was accidentally. He
the
accidentally.
PCP
did
was
Angel
accidental.
Dust. It was
Angel
ac-
Dust. Yeah.
Every line
Yeah,
that he had
Same thing.
had
And the
cuss
chicken
words
coop
in it.
or whatever.
There's no
He's like,
fucking way.
hallucinating.
He's
Every
still
line he
doing
had
it
cuss
throughout
words
the whole
in it.
movie.
There's
Yeah.
no fucking way he was gonna be able to fight. What would be like?
Oh yeah.
God dang!
Yeah, and like Rush Hour is like
yeah.
he says
It's
some
PG-13.
stuff, but it's
PG-13.
like
Now he
super
come back
PG,
as a
yeah.
priest. That'd be a great.
But he's
flip.
also not playing a drug addict
Smokey
or a
becomes a
criminal.
priest.
He's playing a cop. You know what I mean? So it's not like also denigrating to the character in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe he comes back as a priest. That's what I'm thinking. He does the funeral.
That's funny. That this
That'd be-
whole
that would be
this
weird.
totally
That'd be
reminds me. There was
interesting.
a behind the scenes on Rush Hour 2 with the actress from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon who played like
Michelle
a villain.
Yeoh. Oh,
No, the the young chick, Zhang Zi or something like that. Zhang Ji.
Yes. Yeah. From
So she's in Rush Hour 2.
Memoirs of a Geisha and everything.
Yeah.
And there's
Crouching
a scene
Tiger.
where he like knocks her out, and then he says, "You're one crazy ass bitch."
Yeah.
And apparently they couldn't. He refused to say it to her face because he like I don't know felt weird about it or whatever.
Wow.
And they like could not get him to like say this line to this actress because she couldn't speak English. So she had to. They had to translate everything.
Okay.
The whole movie she speaks like Mandarin or something.
I think it might be a different actress, but you go
No,
ahead.
the one
Keep
from
going.
Crouching
No, it's
Tiger,
the chick
right?
from Crouching Tiger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I just watched it like 2 days ago.
I don't think she didn't speak English back then, though.
No, she couldn't speak English.
She hardly
like,
spoke throughout
in
the
real
film.
life.
No, that's what I'm saying. Even in real, that's fine. That's fine. Keep going.
No, that's
well. It's in the
making. It's in the making of the movie.
Okay, I
if
got
you
it.
watch it on the.
I'm thinking it's a
whatever,
different actress
Blu-ray
than
or
I'm
whatever.
thinking of. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And he wouldn't say it. And I don't know. It just made me think like this born again Christian
Yeah.
thing. Like he just couldn't say
Hey,
that
man.
to a woman or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But they finally got him to say it. But he basically is saying it to like nobody.
Yeah.
Like she's not there. Like they wanted them to play off
Got
of
it.
each other
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But then I
He's
think
like,
he
I
ended
didn't
up
wanna
just
say it.
saying he's like, and they only did it once.
Yeah.
So those take you see of him saying you what crazy ass bitch.
Yeah.
Like that was just the only time he was like willing to say it.
But to flip it back to Pops,
Yeah.
one of his last film I think was Black Jesus,
Which I heard. I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. It was a
Yeah,
show. It was a show, right?
Or a
Jesus is
show, or
yeah.
it's a show,
Black Jesus is
yeah.
a show. I haven't watched it, but apparently it's great. Like I don't know anything about
he
it.
plays like this bum that sits outside the house and has like this cardboard house or something like that.
Okay.
I think if I'm
yeah.
correct. Yeah,
But it's just like
really
another
interesting.
iconic thing he did. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's always fought. Yeah, so
All right. Well, rest in peace to John Witherspoon. He was fantastic. He'll be missed because we just love seeing him in movies, and I could have seen him in a million more. Honestly.
yeah.
He elevated everything he was in.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming to get to the movies. This is a sad one. I don't even know. I don't know if
I mean, it's sad to
it's a sad one.
yeah.
Like,
He was 77 years old.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
you
at
know,
least
it's-
lived.
Yeah.
And he made all this amazing stuff that's going to
Content,
live on forever. You know,
It's
as
like-
long as humanity's here, he's going to continue to live on. So
Just to
you
end it
know.
on a bit of comedy, we saw Louis C.K. last night, who's back on tour. We saw the first show in his tour, and he goes like this in the beginning. At one point, he just talks about, you ask somebody, he's like, oh, I'm really sad. My grandmother died. And you're like, oh, wow, how old was she? 98. Pfft, why'd you even tell me? All right, like, who gives a shit? 98 years? They lived the whole fucking life.
lived a full life.
Full life,
I
you're
think.
good.
I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
So,
You can't get sad over someone that lived a full life.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Tim, let me close this motherfucker out. Always like the white man to try to flip it to the white man at the end of the podcast. Let me flip it back. It's about me, okay? Just because I'm gone doesn't mean I'm gone.
I don't know. When he brings the racial element into it, I don't know
It's
how
not
to
just for you
feel.
motherfucker because you're white.
I know, I am white. I'm offended for all the other
How are you offended?
ethnicities in
This shows
world.
that I have.
I'm a proud
Look,
white man.
Oh.
I'm gonna tell you.
That's not what I meant to say. That's not what I meant to say. I'm not
What
proud.
did I
I'm
just
not
say?
proud to be white. I'm not proud to be white. I take it back. I take it back.
No. I
You're not
really
allowed
took
to be
like.
proud.
I know, right?
I watched a lot of
I'm not either,
scenes.
honestly.
Before I do.
Also, I don't fucking care that I'm American either. Fuck America.
Oh my gosh, dude, we just lost. Okay, well,
I'm kidding. I
We're
love
going to, like, the
America.
two extremes.
It's the greatest country
there's
in North
a lot
America.
of death in this episode, and not only of John. So
Oh.
I'm not proud of anything except for my daughter.
you should just
So there you go.
that's the perfect outro.
That's it.
Great.
That wasn't even funny to say "fuck America." I don't even know why I said it because I don't feel it.
I sent him the perfect like.
I just felt like there's
perfect
somebody
text
out
this
there that
morning.
would be offended by it, so I wanted to make sure I said it just so that they were included in anything offensive I've said so far. So.
This was high. I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna close this podcast out. I hope you guys are back next week for this podcast. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to tell you, but Nick might or might not be here, depending on the contract and the legalization and the legal issues that we foresee happening after we close this episode. So, goodbye.
Are you trying to push me out? Are you guys trying to push me out? You don't push me out. I push you out.
I reverse the
I reverse the
investigation.
investigation. I reverse the investigation. I investigate. You don't investigate me. I investigate you.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us here at Get to the Movies. That's Get to the Movies with the number 2. My name is Diego D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
And I'm going to go and I'm going to clean my colon because this is some fucked up shit.
Jesus.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.